Initially, this sentence is going to be very long. If you literally say, I help victims of domestic violence who struggle with protecting their children by providing divorce services so that they can, it's going to be really long, right? So I like to structure the whole sentence first. I help person with such problem by so that. So, but that's almost like a paragraph, right? It's a very nice run-on sentence. And then I refine it into a sentence I could actually use as an elevator pitch and try to condense it as best that I can. We help small business owners stay compliant and lawsuit free so they can focus on growth, something like that. I help injury victims get full settlements without the stress of fighting insurance companies alone, something like that. What's cool, if you can get to where this flows normally for you, and you can get in the habit of when people ask you, what do? You say this sentence, people will be blown away. So currently, if I ask David, what do you do for a living? David, what do you say?
I know what I'm supposed to say. I would say that I run a patent and trademark law practice, is the quick version, I would say.
Mhm. Right? That's what everyone says. I'm a divorce attorney. And honestly, it's tough as a divorce attorney. Does anybody like divorce attorneys? No, right? And
Only when
everybody,
you need one.
yeah, only when you need one, exactly. But it's crazy when you tell someone you practice divorce law, they're often like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, that must suck." Like that's the first thing that comes out of their mouth because people there's a negative connotation of like the practice area as a whole. And so I used to be really good at this. Now I usually actually talk about my coaching business now, so I've kind of fallen out of the habit of doing this. But I used to say that, I help parents with their, I used to say something pretty much I help busy parents get divorced without destroying their savings or their sanity, something of that nature. And it would be cool. They'd be like, oh, that's really cool. So like, are you a divorce attorney then? I'd be like, yeah, I am. Like we're probably the top in Northern Utah. And people would start telling me how cool that was. And it was just crazy. By switching to using my one-liner, I often got the response of, wow, that's really cool that you understand what it is you do, not who like the outcome that you'd achieve, right? And that's really the hope here. If you write this like and focus on the problem first, you will get some pushback as well. That sounds really negative. And so I like to focus on the problem and be super clear on what it is. But when I start delivering it to other people, and this is, I'm teaching this differently than I used to, David, because I used to say, like, I help victims of domestic violence who are struggling to get out of their dot, 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 right? And that comes across as really negative. And when I would ask people for insight on this, that was the number one piece of insight I got was don't focus on the problem. and and I used to teach this as don't listen to what people's opinions are because Donald Miller's smarter than they are when it comes to marketing and advertising. But the truth is, I do think it is helpful to simplify this down to something that's just simple of I help busy parents get divorced without destroying their savings or their sanity. Something just one sentence that's very positive in nature. They're obviously going through a tough time, but I want to focus on the solution, the benefit, the outcome that this person's going to get, why it's awesome that they get to work with me.